What's up, you guys? Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be doing something different. What I have right here is a KBO Flip bike. I'm going to explain to you guys why I'm making a video on it, and we're going to do some testing with this bad boy, see if it's worth it or not. Let's get it. So before you click off this video, I did want to let you guys know it is hat season as far as riding bikes, so that's what I'm wearing today. So the only reason I'm making today's video before you guys do click off of it is, in all honesty, put this into perspective. So when you guys do go out with your guys' truck, off-road rig, doesn't matter what you guys have, if you guys do go camping especially, and you guys are ever bored just kind of doing nothing at the campsite, or say you've had enough of your truck and you want to kind of just walk the trail or take a bike through the trail. So that's kind of the reason why I'm making today's video, is for that specific reason. Sometimes when I'm out camping or anything like that, I do get bored at the campsite, so I figured, I know you can bring games and stuff like that, but I figured why not bring a bike, kind of hit some trails but with a bike. Before you guys do say anything though, this one specifically is a KBO Flip. This one's meant a little bit more for on-road use only, but the reason I'm showing you guys this one is this is KBO's most affordable bike. This one sits under $1,000. So for today's video, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna explain to you guys kind of the specs on it. I'm gonna explain to you guys what kind of bikes KBO has. We're gonna be testing it in real life. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this bike and basically go as far as it says it can go, and we're gonna see if KBO is lying about that or not. I do have a fully charged battery, so I'm hoping it does take me to what it says. I'm gonna test out the speed, see its top speed. I'm gonna be testing it on-road, since it is an on-road bike, but you can mildly go off-road, so I'm going to be testing that as well, like on some dirt trails. And yeah, if this thing does surprise me and make me happy over time, I'm honestly going to go and purchase one of their other ones, which I'll explain to you guys which one right now, because that one's meant for more off-road. It's just a little bit more expensive. The reason it's called KBO Flip is because it does flip into a smaller piece. So there's like latches here, and it'll help it kind of compress. So if you guys do have a car and not a truck, you can fit this in your trunk. It does go pretty small. So let's go ahead and just dive into the specs, and then after that we'll go ahead and start with the testing, see if this thing's worth it or not. Like I said, this is an electric bike that's well under $1,000. For this KBO Flip here, it is a 15.6 AH battery. For those of you guys that are curious, that's what it has. As far as the hub motor, it's not crazy fast, but it'll get you from point A to point B. As far as the shifter, because this does have a shifter, it is a 7-speed. So just like a normal mountain bike, it's going to have the shifter to kind of go up in speed. This one specifically, why I wanted to do the test, it can go 60 plus on one full battery. So I am going to be testing that. I'm going to see if it'll take me more than 60 miles. It also does come with a front and rear rotors and pads, so we're going to go ahead and put those to the test. Comes with front headlights and tail lights, so we're going to be testing those at nighttime. This is a smaller bike, so if you're pretty short like me, this will probably work out for you. This does have a 20-inch by 3-inch tire, so it's a little bit on the smaller end, maybe for kids. As far as the capacity on this thing, it is 275 pounds. Another cool feature of this bike is when you do want to go ahead and charge it, all you do is release the seat. It's super easy, just like that. And then what you do here, it does come with a set of 2 keys. You insert it, push, unlock, and this whole battery releases just like that. And on the other end here, you're going to have your charging port where you can charge it at your house. For today, we're going to be testing it, so let's slide it back in the rail. If you look right here on the top, it's going to have a little battery power on. You can go ahead and hold it down. It'll tell you how much battery you have. So another cool thing about this bike is no one can turn on the electric mode. I'll be honest with you, I mean, they can steal it because it does have normal pedals like a bike, but as far as them riding off really fast, they can't if you have this key. You insert it, and just like a car, you turn it on. I know you can't hear it because it's electric. With that being said, right here on the cluster, it does have a power on feature, and it's going to give you the miles per hour. It gives you the range that you can take this thing as far as the mileage. So it's basically like your own instrument cluster on your bike. This thing also has, so you can install a basket back here. So if you want to use it for groceries or whatever you want, or just to go ahead and load up and take something somewhere, you can. You can see the mounting points there. You can buy a basket, throw your dogs on there, do whatever you want. It's cool. One thing I did want to tell you, if I'm being quite honest, this is probably the only thing I don't like about the KBO Flip. If I'm being quite honest, this is pretty ugly. It's just a little too long. I wish they made it to where you can adjust it, or if it was leaned back a little more. But if you're looking at it from top view like I am, like this, it's just, I don't know, it's very awkward. It's comfortable, it's just I don't like how that looks. It's funky. All right, so coming back down here, you're gonna notice I do have it powered on. You have to make sure your key is on the on position. Once it's on the on position, you could go ahead and start this, the instrument cluster. You just power it on by holding down. That's it. You're gonna notice there's a plus and there's a minus, and there's gonna say assist right there. I'm gonna put it back down to 0. So when you're at 0, your little like controller for the motor, it's not going. So in that point, it just kind of turns into like a regular bike. So you have to pedal, you know, you have to use your actual exercise, you lazy people like me. If you go up in the assist by pushing that, so highest speed would be 3. You then you don't even have to pedal. You just push it and it goes on its own. So that's the cool thing about this bike. You let it go, slows down. Let's come back around, back to my truck. Whee! There it is. And it's actually pretty quick if you hold it down. One thing I did want to say though on these brakes, they're not the best. I mean, they do the job, but they're a little bit noisy for what it is. Like I was saying, this is the entry model. With that being said, KBO Flip does offer different ones. The one I specifically want that I was telling you guys in the beginning is the KBO Tornado. So that one is basically like a mountain bike version of an electric bike, and that's why I want it, because like I was saying, when I go out camping and stuff like that, I feel like that bike can really do me good. So if I'm bored, I can have fun with it. As far as this one, I mean, I can take it. It has all-terrain tires, but I just wanted to get a feel for this brand, see what it's about. Hopefully we get that KBO Tornado once again. That'll be an awesome addition to the family here. So let's go ahead and just test this out, see if it'll last. We'll test a couple other little things out. At nighttime, we'll go ahead and turn the headlights on, see if those are bright or not. At the end of the video, if you want to go ahead and buy it, I'll make sure to link their information in the description box below. Before we do start going, I want to give a big shout out to KBO Flip for sponsoring today's video. So I'm recording with the GoPro, so hopefully the sound will pick up, and I can't really see what I'm looking at, so hopefully I'm in frame. Let's get it. So you're gonna see right here, we're gonna start off with 1 mile. Battery says it's full, so let's go ahead and just test this around. So right now where I'm starting, I do have it on hill assist, but where I'm starting is Central Park. I don't know if you guys know or are familiar with the area, but Rancho Cucamonga Central Park. I'm just gonna go ahead and ride around my town and just see how far this bike takes me. And cool thing about this bike specifically is I do not have to pedal whatsoever. It's just free going with that, and like I said, it does have speeds just like a regular mountain bike. Right now I'm going slightly uphill and it's going 14 miles per hour, which is pretty cool. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the brakes once I get on some smooth surface, just so I don't mess up my tires, just to test that out, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. Braking power, I would say if you're just hitting the rear brake, it's not that good. It's good enough to where it's gonna stop you no matter what, but say you need to stop really hard, this thing ain't doing a skid. I guess I did a little one there, but nothing crazy. Right. So of course, if you hit the rear brake and the front brake at the same time, it does help out a little. I just tried that out off camera. It does help, but I wish they were a little better. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna test it here on the trail off-road. This is probably like how maybe like a fire road would be. So let's see. Uphills doesn't do too good off-road. It did actually stop on its own right now. I had to pedal up by myself. So let's get back on road. I'm going full speed right here again, just to see what it can do. We're at 16 miles per hour. Hopefully I don't kill it. 18 miles per hour. 19 miles per hour. So far it looks like 19 might be the buzz breaker. I think if I'm going downhill, it'll probably be like 20 max. So right now going back, I'll try it out. I do want to try this on the street as well, and not just on the trail here. So that little dirt patch that I just did, I handled it well, but I'll be honest, I had to grab myself a couple times. I don't know if you saw the camera move. All right, so right now I'm at Victoria Gardens, or I should say across the street. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't worn a helmet in years. I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm gonna go to the mall with this, but whatever. This is all for testing purposes. So just finished up breakfast. For those that are curious, it does have shocks, which are right there. They're on the stiff side, so if you are riding it and hit a bump or anything like that, or say you take it out on rocks like right there, like a fire road or something, just kind of brace yourself. I mean, it's comfortable, even the seat's pretty comfortable. It's just kind of on the stiff side, so just keep that in mind if you guys are riding it around town. So right now I'm kind of just pedaling instead of hitting that. Seems to help out with the battery life. Like I was telling you guys, I mean, I was just going full throttle on this, and battery was going down. so far so good. I'm out of the trail. See where I'm going. Another thing I did want to point out, if you are using the pedals like I am, like I said, you do not feel anything, and that's when you can use the gears. If you guys have gone mountain biking and have gears, you know how that works as far as pedaling with the gear. It does help with the speed as well, and like I said, you do not get tired. It's so weird. Like in a regular mountain bike, I would have been really tired at this point, but I can keep going another, I don't know how many miles, but I am not tired whatsoever. I do wish I brought water though. I'm kind of getting thirsty, but as far as mileage, I like it. Like I said, once we get to the end of this trail and see where this thing dies out at, we'll talk a little bit more. Pedaling, I'm reaching 19-20 miles an hour. No problem. Like I said, I'm not tired whatsoever. This is so cool, man. You have no idea. So it is the next day. Yesterday I did about 30 miles and I did get tired, not physically, it's just my butt started hurting, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I took a break. Today's the next day, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and do hopefully another 30 miles today. If not, I'll continue this until I hit the battery range that it's supposed to hit. So if you look right here, I did about 30 miles, like I said, 29 to be exact. As far as the battery life, it still has 2, so we're pretty good there. I did leave it at my parents' house, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride it back home. So we'll see how that happens. Before I do that though, what I wanted to do is just kind of give you guys some flybys, just to kind of see, or for you guys to see how it looks passing by.
Was that on purpose? Was that on purpose?
No, I was trying not to hit it, and I was like, I'm gonna hit it, so I jumped so I wouldn't hit it. That scared me. But there it is, you guys. There's the little flybys. Like I said, right now I'm gonna take the bike back home. I was currently at my parents' house, so I'm gonna ride it all the way home, and hopefully it makes it. The battery life, it's still at 2. From here to my house, it's probably about 7 miles. So when we get there, we should probably be around we should be at 36 mile on the odometer. From there, one thing I did want to tell you guys is I have been mainly using just all electric. If you read the information on their website, the range on this is 35 miles if you just use electric. Now, if you do combine it with pedaling and the electric, that's when you do get the 60+ mile range. So I did forget to mention that kind of earlier in the video, but I wanted to go ahead and state that to you guys before you get missed information. That's my fault, of course, but so far what I'm thinking here is if we're already at the 30 mile range, we have 2 battery left. That actually sounds about right. So I'm going to continue to try just use electric, see how far I really get. And then, like I said, if I have to continue this onto the next day because it is getting kind of dark, I don't want to ride this at night, even though it does have headlights. If you see here, you hold down the plus and that's how you turn your headlights on. So if you see that, they're on here. So just wanted to show you guys that. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and continue on from here. I'll get back to you guys in a bit. JesseRizo
subscribe.
So now that we finished up with the testing and just kind of putting it together, seeing what it is and what it can do, now this is the time for the review part. Just please keep in mind, this is my personal opinions and thoughts on this bike. Yours may be different. Wherever you live may make the results a little different as well. So please, like I said, these are my thoughts, my opinions from my first-hand experience. For you, it may be a little bit different on everything I tested out today, depending where you live. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the tires on this bad boy here. One thing I did want to let you guys know, looking at them right away, they are still looking pretty beefy. These are pretty big road tires. So I know I did take them on gravel road and kind of like dirt roads and stuff like that. I don't think they're 100% made for it as far as on this specific model bike, but it looks like it handled it over well. I don't see any chipping or anything like that off the treads. So I'd say that's pretty good. I wish I had the Tornado bike to show you guys, just so you guys can kind of see the differences. So hopefully down the road, KBO Flip can help me out with that, so we can do like a side-by-side comparison video on it. So that being said, the model of this bike is the KBO Flip. I believe they call it a flip because you can flip it in half and probably take it in your car if you guys have a car. Fortunate for me, I do have a truck, so it's easy for me to transport it back and forth. But if you have a car and you flip it, you make it go small, it should fit in your trunk or in your back seat. There is different models. Like I said, me specifically, I want the Tornado version. There is other ones. KBO does make like long distance bikes, fast bikes, slow bikes. This one here specifically though is their entry level. This one starts at about under $1,000. So if you do end up wanting it, it's going to be in the description box below. I don't remember if I said this or not, but this specific bike is probably good for starters, good for someone that just wants something for around town. It's good to carry your groceries. You can buy a basket back here and throw your groceries back there, or even your dogs, anything like that. It's a good kids bike. So now let's talk about the battery life, because I know that's something that most people that are looking for a bike, that's kind of what they wonder on. So for this one specifically, like I said, this is their entry model Flip, which is just under $1,000 at the time of making this video. So the mileage on this thing is going to be 35 miles all electric, meaning electric only, no pedaling. So now if you do want to get a higher distance, you will have to be using kind of like a half and half method, meaning pedaling, letting the motor control it, pedaling, doing the motor. And if you guys do remember when I was doing the testing, when you guys are pedaling, I can guarantee you guys it's going to be the most easiest bike you have ever rode. The motor basically does all of it for you. So when you're pedaling, you don't even feel it. It's kind of like a weird motion. Anybody that's ever ridden an e-bike, you guys will know that feeling that I'm talking about. While you're pedaling, you can kind of feel the motor just kind of pushing you, or gliding you, I should say. Now when you ride a regular mountain bike, you get tired really fast, especially if you're out of shape and fat like me, because it is tiring, I'm not gonna lie. So that's why this bike is for me. The next thing I did want to let you guys know, as far as what I got out of this, I got 37 miles on this bike, all electric. You guys can see there, we went 37 miles. I did slightly pedal just to kind of test it out for you guys in the video. Basically all those mileage that I did, it was straight just electric. So to me, that seems like KBO is pretty honest with their website, what they're saying, because I did get it. As far as for me, I haven't done the full 60 miles, but if you guys do want to see that in a future video, I'll make a quick little short one for you guys down the road. If you guys want, I'll just kind of see how much fully I can get out of this bike. Right now, it is showing 1 bar, but that once I push this clicker here to make it all electric, it dies down. So that being said, I'm sure it's dead, and I don't want to drain it all the way and mess something up. So the next thing on this, if you guys have all this power underneath your butt right here with this battery, you are going to wonder, how do I stop it? Well, cool thing about this thing here is you're going to have 2 different brakes. So you're going to have your rear brake, which is going to be on your right passenger side right here, and then you're going to have your left brake, which is going to handle the front right there. So what I experienced, for me, I do want to say it comes with like rotors, like drilled and slotted rotors, which looks awesome, of course, as appearance, and it looks like it has some type of pads. But overall, what I got from my own personal experience, they don't work that good. I would have thought it would have stopped right away because of the way it looks. You know, usually those type of rotors stop the bikes really fast, including on a car. When you see those type, you know, they're usually performance upgraded rotors and pads. On this bike specifically, I don't feel like I got the full potential or something. I don't know, maybe I need to reset them. I don't know how to do that though. But as far as for me, I noticed for me to get a nice smooth stopping, I had to hit both the front and the rear at the same time. Of course, I tried not to only hit the front because that's when you could roll, but even then, I mean, I was pushing it and I wasn't rolling forward, but just to be safe, I was pushing both, and that was making it for a smooth transition to go ahead and stop. So keep that in mind. The brakes aren't probably the best as what they look, but they do actually do the job. I ended up hitting about, I want to say 39 miles per hour on a downhill. Trying to get this thing to stop was a bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, it did do the job. So I'm not hating on them, but I'm just letting you guys know for your personal opinion. If you know how to work on brakes, you could probably make these a little better. I know you could adjust them here, I just don't know how, and I don't want to mess with it because it works as is. Now talking about the speed, since I just kind of brought that up. So like I was telling you in the previous clip, the max speed I hit on this was 29 miles per hour. So that's pretty awesome, and if you want to get from point A to point B, just keep in mind this is electric, so if you're holding it down and you're going super fast, you're going to drain out the battery. So if you want to go to like a far distance, I would recommend just don't drain the battery by going super fast. Just kind of ease on it, you know, nice and slow, cruise by. But that being said, the max speed that I got out of it going on a full downhill, I went 29 miles per hour. So now just riding the bike around town and just kind of testing it in normal life conditions, I was doing anywhere between 17 miles per hour to up to about 21 miles per hour. That's what I got personally. Keep in mind, I mean, yeah, I'm fat, but I'm not crazy heavy. I think I weigh about 150. It may be different for you depending on weight, unfortunately. All right, and as far as the uphill, whenever you do go uphill, since I am fat, when I do go uphill, I was getting anywhere between 12 to 14 miles per hour max. That was on an uphill. Now, if the incline was super big, in all honesty, it would almost come down to about 3 miles per hour, 4 miles per hour. So at that point, it was better to just use my legs and actually pedal through. All right, what I just showed you guys right now was the actual max speed of the motor. So that was with no weight. All I did was bring up the bike, push back the pedal, just to see what the max speed would be, which as you guys saw is 19 miles per hour. Like I was telling you, I personally was getting a little bit over that, and that's only because of inclines and my weight pushing the actual bike. That's why I was able to achieve a little bit over that. For off-road applications, I don't see this bike being 100% an off-road bike. That's why I keep saying I want to get that Tornado bike, because it has more power, bigger tires, and it is meant for mountain biking. This one here is mainly meant for on-road. I did the testing so you guys don't have to, but that's what I got out of the results. So now talking about the weight. So this bike specifically, once again, the KBO Flip, this one is a max rated to 275 pounds. So unfortunately, if you are a little bit over that, you're going to have to look at their other options. As far as the recommendations in height, I am about 5'5", 5'6", right in the middle about that. But this bike specifically is for someone about 5 feet 1 inch to max about 6 feet to 2 inches. Anything over that, you might not be comfortable. Anything under that, you might not reach. So just in case you guys were curious on that. Now, if you guys are curious on how much this thing weighs, this weighs 57 pounds. So keep that in mind when you guys are carrying it around. It is light, but the thing, it makes it awkward just because of the way it's shaped. So that kind of, it makes it a little heavier than what it is. As far as the speedometer and the little controller, it does have a cool little LCD display. It is black and white, of course, but that's all you need for this specific application. So another cool thing I did want to let you guys know, it does have working headlights. So they're not crazy bright as you guys saw them in the previous clip, but same thing, they do get the job done. It does allow you to see at night, and it also helps out for oncoming traffic, so that way they see you coming. As far as the looks on it, it's not horrible, but as far as for me, my only preference, I really wish this was shaped a little bit more like a normal bike. I could tell you guys, if you want to keep a good posture and do a long distance, having it this way does actually help out because it keeps you nice and straight, kind of looking at the road. That way you don't crash into anything, versus, you know, usually like a normal bike, it's more pushed down and you're kind of a little bit more slanted. This will keep you at a great posture, so this is good for long distances. As far as who this is for, I would have to say, I mean, once again, if you're the average Joe and you don't weigh too much, it would be good for you. Like, as far as for me, this is gonna work out. My parents do live really close to me, so instead of taking my truck that wastes a lot of gas, this will be my good option, and I could just take the bike to them and not even feel a thing, hang out with them for a while and come back home and not worry about anything. Like I said, it'll save me gas. And if I really wanted to, my work is about 28 miles to 30 miles away from my house. I can honestly take this, charge it there, and then bring it back and not feel a thing. Of course, that's probably going to be a 2-hour bike ride, which I do not want to do, but it's cool having that option just in case the truck is ever broken at home or something like that. Another thing I did want to point out is this does have front shocks. If I'm being quite honest with you guys, I mean, they're not super smooth, but going over bumps, I did go through sidewalks, I did go through bike lanes, I did go through gravel roads, dirt roads, rocky roads, and even grass. It does the job, but it's more on the stiff side. So if I was hitting the bumps kind of hard, if I'm being honest, it would kind of toss me like this, and it was a bit scary going at high speeds. But at least it's there. Without it, I'm sure I would have probably fell and ate some poopy. That would have been bad. So if you do want to get this for your kids, or if you're looking for a quick little commuter to save gas on your rig or on your truck, whatever you have at home, this is the way to go. If you guys do end up wanting it, make sure to check out the description box below. I've linked it there. If you guys did like today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll bring out some more off-road content and installs here pretty soon. Peace. So in the speed. That's kind of weird. Oh my gosh. It's too loud.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.